So, welcome to round one of Sir Emanon's Discord tournament for the December 2020 banlist season. I am playing Dino Infernoid against True Draco Zoo. And I saved my recording. I figured I'd do some commentary on my match because, people think my deck lists are weird, so I want to show them how they function if they're okay. I could also discuss misplays and things as well. So let's get into the match. So I'm on the bottom, and I am playing against Edgelord Guilford, and he's going to make me go first, which definitely confused me because most people are going second. So I've safely main deck to go first. I'm safely main deck to go second because almost everybody makes me go second. He's on Draco Zoo, so he's trying to resolve Card of Demise and set up a board and fall back, I guess, on Zoodiac cards. Not really sure exactly what his game plan is. Anyways, so I'm going to just pass my first turn because the hand I have doesn't really require I do anything. Even setting Imperm just puts it in danger. I just put him on playing a going second deck. So he's going to opt to not reveal the Draco stuff and just do Zoodiac plays. He goes into Borbo and attacks directly, and then overlays for a Zeus. Now a Zeus only has one effect on it, which I'm not sure if I would call a misplay or a correct play, but either way he opts not to expend many resources and has taken control of the board. Now, I make a strange decision here. So I have the option of normal summoning Oviraptor to search Baby Ceresaurus, and then doing Misk into Animadorn, and doing a ton of dinosaur plays that are all unaffected by a Zeus and a lot of other plays, but they are affected by hand traps. So I actually make the decision to try and resolve Gamma in the event that he actually had a response to this. So I go into Aolo, thinking I could potentially force some sort of a play on his end, but there's nothing for him to really do. So because I made this play to try and bait a hand trap, I didn't have any card to pop in my hand other than the Oviraptor to search for the conductor, so it didn't really think it made sense to do that. But if I wanted to, instead I could have used the Aeola to pop the Oviraptor in my hand to search for the pill, went into Linkaribo and the Secure Gardna, and then summoned Conductor, and then flipped the Zeus face down, and then attacked over it, and had a Conductor on board. Instead, I opted to try and potentially bait out hand traps by doing what appears to be a fiber combo. I summoned Decatron because there's no spells engraved, so I can't go into Selene and Access Code Talker. Not that any of that stuff is going to work into this, but I decide to just go into Lambda again. So, I still have a live Gamma, and I can set Imperm, and this time I'm giving him a reason to potentially try to activate Zeus. But it's just because I decided to use a play that relied on Gamma instead of just making a play, because the other cards in my hand weren't live, and I wanted to try and, I guess, keep something for the following turn if I lived. So I'd probably call that a mistake. I probably should have just pushed harder. So he's going to use Terraforming, get Diagram into play, activating the Disciples and activating Diagram. So now he's getting value out of his cards, so he's going to pop the Draco Phoenix and add Ignis Heat, and then he can use the Draco Phoenix to pop my Imperm, which I use on Zeus. There's not really much reason to do that. I probably even shouldn't have done that, so that he might be tempted to use the effect of Zeus. I think I thought if I use it now, maybe he'll pop early, and then I can potentially Gamma the Zeus and get some more blockers on board. He activates Heritage and uses its effect to perform an extra summon, and tribute summons the Ignis Heat using the return to pop the Lambda. So now I still have a live Gamma, but nothing to really bait him to activate monster effects. And he sent a True Draco spell and a trap card to graveyard this turn, so he can draw 2 cards. He draws Whiptail and the second True King's Return, back to 2 since the previous ban list. He opts to just summon a Whiptail and go into a Hammer Kong and then Vespinato. So he's got 25, 27, and 3,000, which is over 8,000, so I am forced to scoop here. So my conservative play wound up being too conservative, so I might as well have went more aggressive and might have gotten somewhere. So we're going into game 2, where I will be choosing to go second, so I could see what he does going first. Odds are he'll just set up a Zoo play or a Draco play. So he's going to summon Whiptail and just go into a Trident, and he accidentally reveals that he has Apocalypse, which he sets. And I make a bunch of plays that I don't want to say that they're bad plays. There are a bunch of plays that force his plays, but it doesn't make a difference. Like, I have Oviraptor, so what I probably should do here is normal Oviraptor and search Misk, so that if he does the Tribute Summon, I can stop him from popping my cards. Instead, I opt to Galaxy Cyclone on the set card while I can, and then he Tribute Summons for the Ignis Heat. The Dynamite Knight, which didn't really accomplish anything. I could have potentially gotten somewhere if I would have just started with Oviraptor, but I opted not to. Next, I Mind Control to take his Trident while he chains Dynamite and sets a trap card, meaning he can now summon the Ignis Heat and use it to pop my Trident. So I have the option of popping the Return, because if I pop the Dynamite, he's just going to bring back the Dynamite with the Return and then perform a Tribute Summon, but I opt to pop the Trap card, because which forces the Tribute Summon, and then he pops the Trident anyway. So nothing really occurred there that made any difference, and he can still use the Ignis Heat. But I haven't conducted any of my plays with my dinosaurs yet. He has no spells in Graveyard, which I think is something I didn't realize at first. I have 2 spells, so not enough to actually resolve a Selene combo. But because I opened the Conductor, I still go that route. So I negate the Ignis Heat, and I search for Misk so I can go into Aolo and do part of a Fiber combo, although it's not really like a great Fiber combo. And I use it to summon Decatron, so I get some Infernoids in play, so I could start potentially doing those plays. I go into Hida, Fire Charmer Ablaze, because I can bring back his Ignis Heat to have an extra body. And I just summon Conductor, and I'm just going to run over both of his guys, leaving him with 1 card in hand, which I can't tell how good or bad that will be for him. So I'm going to bring back Ignis Heat after inflicting damage. He draws Tenki for turn, but I can book his 1 normal summon. He also has Draco Phoenix, which he can use to draw a card, because I believe there are exactly 3 Draco cards in Graveyard currently. He's got Dynamite Knight, and Return, and Apocalypse, so he needs a good draw off of his Draco Phoenix. So he's going to shuffle back the 3. And he draws a Tenki, which is just another Zoo, so he opts to not even reveal what he drew, he just scoops. Because he knows he has a Zoo, it's just going to get flip face down. I had a monster in hand to pop, so that's what was going to happen. And now this game is the one where I'd more decidingly make a definitive misplay. So game 1, it was more questionable as a misplay. Game 3, this is definitely going to be a misplay. I made to go first. I didn't open any of the cards I sided for going first at all. So I opt not to reveal what I have currently. So I just set Cosmic, thinking I can potentially hit Diagram, or a set Draco card, or a Tenki, which is what I wind up doing. This is a misplay on my part. I pay 1,000 life points to prevent him from getting to the Zoo Engine. And the Zoo Engine is weak to Imagination. Whoops. So I put myself in a position where I actually can't stop him from... I stop him from going into Zoo cards, which is going to make my hand a lot weaker. Instead, he manages to get Diagram and go into Draco cards, which my deck is weak to. So if I would have just saved it, I could have hit the Diagram and prevented him from playing. Because I'm not sure what I was planning on accomplishing with that. That was a bad play on my part. So he just Tribute Summons over the Apocalypse for a Majesty Maiden and puts in some damage. He sets 2, and trap cards are also been a problem for me lately in this format, and I draw into Misk. So now I have full dinosaur combo. He searches for a monster to tribute his trap card for, but none of the cards he can affect the dinosaurs I currently have, so I'm just going to play through the combo, using Misk to summon Animadorn, which pops the baby, which searches the pill. The baby Ceratosaurus, which is in the graveyard. I put it in the wrong place at first. I'm going to summon Oviraptor from deck, which can search one of 2 things. I could actually use it to search for another Conductor, or I could use it to search for the baby Ceratosaurus. At this point, I can't currently destroy the Majesty Maiden in battle because of the field spell, which I don't have a way of dealing with. So I summon the baby Ceratosaurus and use its effect to pop the 1 on the field to summon the 1 in the graveyard, so that it can activate and summon Aolo. So I have the option of summoning Aolo, or a Miscellaneousaurus to go into a Dulca, but currently the only monster he'd be able to activate would be the Ignis that's in his hand, which if he summoned would be summoned by tributing the Troop King's Return, which would then just pop the Dulca, so I wouldn't get an opportunity to activate it. So I opt that it's better to try and just go into Conductor. And I also did something, possibly a bad play here. I have an extra Dinosaur in play because of this, because otherwise... actually, no, I would have kept my Sights Moss by keeping my Linkaribo in play, which is definitely not necessarily the better play, because I could have went into Linkaribo first. I activate the Conductor, popping the Baby Ceratosaurus to flip his guy face down. Now, I do need his guys face down, because I can't destroy them in battle because of the field spell. But knowing he has Ignis in hand, I probably shouldn't have done that yet. I guess I thought I was going to be keeping the Misk and the Oviraptor for some reason to make a rank 4, but I'm going to make a Linkaribo using the Animadorn and then link into Fiber to try and bait some sort of play from him, because currently I don't know about the trap card, I guess. So he's going to use his Forbidden Droplet, stopping the Fiber by sending the Majesty Maiden. Now I still don't have a way to deal with the last trap card, so I opt to go into Hida. And I could have just potentially attacked, but I go into Access Code Talker, which prompts the activation of the return on resolution to Tribute Summon and pop my Access Code Talker. And I attack into his Ignis Heat, where I can't send it to the graveyard. So he's still in position to do whatever he wants. I pass turn because I can't do anything. I'm literally, the only thing I needed to do differently in this play is I didn't need to book the Majesty Maiden when I did. I could have booked it when he tried to pop with the trap card, so I would have sent both to grave and I'd be in a little bit of a better position. He would have gotten another spell card, though, out of that, because he doesn't get one yet. So he activates Diagram, popping the Lancia in hand to search Draco Phoenix, and is going to use it to draw a card. Shuffling back Return, Majesty Maiden, and Apocalypse. And he draws another Lancia, which is good for him on the following turn. He passes because he can't get over Conductor. I draw for turn, and I do have a... I banished my Infernoid, otherwise this Harmodic would have been live. So I would have had not a Linkaribo in the graveyard before, but a live Infernoid, which would have been better. So I go to the main phase and ask him if that's okay. He approves. We're playing on Discord, so there's a voice chat going, so you'll notice you're not going to see a lot of my plays being activated. I think he might be pressing the declare buttons on a lot of his effects because he's used to playing on DB, whereas I don't really play on DB. And if I do play on DB, I do everything. But because we're on voice chat, I wasn't doing it. So I activate the Misk, and he asks if it's cost to banish, which it is. So he missed his opportunity to Lancia me. But he kind of gives away that he has Lancia by asking. So he adds Heritage to hand in response with Ignis Heat. I add the Oviraptor. I summon the Oviraptor from deck and add a Misk, but I think I decide really quickly that I wanted to make a change, and he agrees to let me make that change. I search a new Oviraptor to have a normal summon for my next turn. And because my Oviraptor is going to die anyway, I opt to destroy the Oviraptor on field to flip his guy face down so I can send it to grave, which I do. If I would have popped the Harmodic in my hand, the Oviraptor would have still killed itself during the end of the turn, but I would have done 18 more damage, which wouldn't have made a big difference in the long run. He draws a trap card, which gives him the easy out to Conductor. He's going to set it and pop it to search for a Dynamite Knight. He's just going to pop that, and then he'll activate Heritage to draw a card. Draws another Heritage, which doesn't do anything for him. He will tribute the Heritage to summon a Dynamite Knight, and then resolve Draco Phoenix, shuffling back 3 to draw a card. And he draws a Zoo, which means he can get into Vespanado, which puts out another 2,500 damage, which means he has over 5,000, which is more than enough to end this game. So definitely handicap myself by not making my Void Imagination live. Definitely should have reconsidered how I played out my first turn in game 1 as well. But that's match 1. It could have gone differently if I'd played a little differently, but in some cases I would say that the decision wasn't obvious, and I definitely was annoyed at myself the moment I flipped over that Cosmic. I think I literally said to him within like seconds of activating it, I'm like, I think that was a mistake. Oops. And then that was the end of that for the most part. game one, I probably should have been more aggressive, because odds are I was going to... I wouldn't say I was going to lose the game with the play I made, but it definitely wasn't really progressing me anywhere. So either I should have not made the play at all, or I should have made the more aggressive play, because I wound up just getting OTK'd, because I didn't really end with anything that was productive. So that's going to be the end of this game. Stay tuned, and you'll be seeing more of the matches from this tournament as we progress through. And that's that.